Welcome back to my channel today. We explore the value of specific coins, the top 7 most valuable US Kennedy half-dollar coins value in today's market. So let's get started. First up, the 1988 Kennedy half-dollar with a P mint mark. But with a twist, this coin is in what's called a damaged dot condition. The P mint mark indicates the coin was minted in Philadelphia. In 1988, millions of these half-dollars were produced, over 46 million to be exact. So, under normal circumstances, they're considered common and typically only worth their face value of 50 cents, especially in circulated condition. But what about one that's in damaged dot condition? This phrase usually refers to a visible defect or die chip on or near the coin's mint mark or other features. Some collectors mistake these for mint errors, and others value them as unique imperfections. Now, here's the reality check. Unless the damage is officially recognized as a mint error by a grading service like PCGS or NGC, the coin's market value doesn't increase significantly. Most damaged, 1988 Kennedy. Half dollars even with a dot or chip sell for around 50 cents to $2, depending on the buyer. However, if it's a certified mint error or has a truly unusual feature authenticated by a professional, prices can range from $10 up to $50 and sometimes more, depending on collector interest. If you believe your coin is a genuine error, it may be worth submitting it for professional grading. But in most cases, a 1988 Kennedy half dollar in damaged dot condition will not fetch a high premium on today's market. Next up, the 1967 Kennedy half dollar without a mint mark. Even in dirty or circulated condition, this coin can hold surprising value in today's market. Let's take a closer look. The 1967 Kennedy half dollar was struck during a time when the US Mint had removed mint marks from coins, so all half dollars from that year were produced without one. These coins are made of 40% silver, unlike the later versions which contain no silver at all. That silver content is a key factor in their value today. Even in a dirty or heavily circulated state, a 1967 Kennedy half dollar is still worth more than its face value. As of today's market, the coin's value is mostly based on its silver content. With silver currently trading at around $30 per ounce, the average melt value of a 1967 Kennedy half dollar is approximately $4.50 to $5.50, depending on the exact silver price. Collectors may offer slightly more if the coin has some collectible appeal despite the wear or dirt, but in most cases, you're looking at a value tied to its silver content. So, if you've come across a dirty old 1967 Kennedy half dollar without a mint mark, don't overlook it. It still holds value thanks to its silver content, and with rising precious metal prices, it could be worth even more in the future. Next up, the 1972 Kennedy half dollar, a coin that might just be hiding in your collection or your pocket change. Minted at the Denver Mint, this coin features the iconic portrait of President John F. Kennedy on the obverse and the presidential seal on the reverse. The 1972 Kennedy half dollar was produced in large numbers, over 141 million, which makes it fairly common in circulated condition. In extra fine condition, this coin shows slight wear on the high points, but retains most of its original detail and appeal. Collectors and dealers look for sharpness in the hairlines of Kennedy's portrait and clarity in the eagle's feathers on the reverse. As of May 2025, a 1972 Kennedy half dollar in extra fine condition typically sells for around $1.50 to $2. While it's not a high dollar coin, its historical value and collectability make it a great addition to any U.S. coin collection, especially for those completing a full Kennedy half dollar series. Next up, the 1985 Kennedy half dollar. If you've come across one in your collection, you might be wondering what it's worth in today's market. Let's break it down. The Kennedy half dollar was first minted in 1964 as a tribute to President John F. Kennedy following his assassination. By 1985, these coins were no longer made with silver and were intended mostly for circulation, with many ending up in banks and change drawers across the country. The 1985 Kennedy half dollar with the D mint mark was struck at the Denver Mint. You can find the mint mark just below Kennedy's neck on the coin's obverse side. This coin is made from a copper-nickel-clad composition and weighs 11.34 grams. In 1985, over 15 million Kennedy half dollars were minted in Denver. Because of this high mintage, these coins are generally not considered rare, especially in circulated condition. However, coins in higher grades, such as MS-65 and above, are much harder to find and hold more value. If you have a 1985D Kennedy half dollar in very good condition, that is, circulated but still with visible details, its value is primarily face value, around 50 cents. In today's market, collectors may pay between 75 cents and $2 for a nicely preserved circulated example. Uncirculated or mint state coins, especially those graded MS-65 or higher, can fetch between $5 and $20 or more, depending on eye appeal and demand. To get the best value from your coin, consider getting it professionally graded if it appears to be in excellent condition. Coins with full luster, sharp strikes, and minimal contact marks tend to perform better in the collector's market. So while the 1985D Kennedy half dollar may not make you rich, it remains a solid piece for entry-level collectors and a great example of modern U.S. coinage. Keep an eye out for high-grade examples, those are the real gems. Next up, the 1974 Kennedy half dollar without a mint mark. We'll explore what makes this coin valuable, the condition that affects its worth, and what you can expect if you're looking to buy or sell one today, all valued in U.S. dollars. First, a bit of background. The Kennedy half dollar was first issued in 1964 to honor President John F. Kennedy after his assassination. This coin quickly became one of the most popular and widely collected U.S. coins due to its historical significance and iconic design. While the majority of 1974 Kennedy half dollars were minted with mint marks indicating their production location, the versions without any mint mark are of special interest to collectors. Coins without mint marks can sometimes indicate a unique production run or an error, which can significantly affect their value. So what exactly does it mean when we say no mint mark? Normally, coins bear a small letter indicating the mint where they were produced. For example, D for Denver or S for San Francisco. In 1974, the Philadelphia Mint produced coins without a mint mark. This is not unusual for Philadelphia at the time, but what makes some of these no mint mark coins stand out is their rarity and condition. Now, when we talk about value, condition plays a crucial role. Coin collectors grade coins based on their state of preservation, ranging from poor condition to mint state, which means flawless or nearly flawless. Today, we are focusing on the 1974 Kennedy half dollar without a mint mark in normal circulated condition. This means the coin shows signs of wear, possibly scratches, some fading details, and general handling marks. In circulated condition, these coins are generally not extremely rare, but they still hold value beyond their face value due to demand from collectors and historical significance. On average, a 1974 Kennedy half dollar without a mint mark in normal circulated condition can be valued between $3 and $10 US in today's market. However, there are some nuances. Coins with unusual errors or those found in exceptional condition, even without a mint mark, can fetch higher prices. Collectors pay premiums for coins that have unique characteristics or have been well preserved over the decades. To sum up, while the 1974 Kennedy half dollar without a mint mark is not among the rarest or most valuable U.S. coins, it holds steady appeal for collectors. If you find one in your collection, or perhaps inherited some old coins, it's definitely worth checking the condition and authenticity to see where it might stand in today's market. If you want to maximize the value of your coin, consider having it professionally graded. Grading can significantly influence the market price, especially if your coin is close to uncirculated or in exceptional condition. Next up, the 1979 Kennedy half dollar from the United Kingdom, specifically the version without a mint mark. If you're a coin collector or just curious about coin values, this video will give you a detailed insight into why this coin is so valuable and what you can expect it to be worth in today's market. The Kennedy half dollar is an iconic coin in American numismatics, originally minted in 1964 to commemorate President John F. Kennedy after his assassination. While the US issued these coins, there are certain special editions and variations that have surfaced over the years, especially the 1979 edition that collectors find particularly interesting. Now, you might be wondering what makes the 1979 Kennedy half dollar without a mint mark from the United Kingdom so special. Usually, coins come with mint marks that indicate the mint where they were produced, such as D for Denver or S for San Francisco. However, the 1979 half dollar without any mint mark is rare and highly collectible, especially when it's in excellent condition. Condition plays a huge role in determining the value of any coin, and the Kennedy half dollar is no exception. Coins are graded on a scale from poor condition to mint state, with grades like extremely fine, about uncirculated, and MS65 or higher being the most desirable for collectors. For the 1979 Kennedy half dollar, without a mint mark, coins in good condition meaning minimal wear, and well-preserved details are rare because most circulated coins show signs of handling and aging. This scarcity directly affects their value. As of today, the market value for a 1979 Kennedy half dollar without a mint mark in good condition typically ranges between 30 to 75 US dollars. However, coins graded as near mint or mint state can command significantly higher prices, sometimes reaching over $150, depending on the buyer's interest and the coin's provenance. It's also important to note that factors such as certification from professional grading services, like the Professional Coin Grading Service (PCGS) or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation (NGC), can substantially increase the coin's value. Certified coins give buyers confidence in the coin's authenticity and condition. If you're thinking of buying or selling a 1979 Kennedy half dollar without a mint mark, always consider having it professionally graded. It's an investment that can pay off by confirming the coin's status and maximizing its market value. In summary, the 1979 Kennedy half dollar without a mint mark from the United Kingdom is a fascinating collectible coin with a strong following. Its value varies greatly depending on condition, certification, and demand, but generally ranges from $30 to over $100. If you happen to own one in great condition, it could be worth more than you think. Next up, the 1968 Kennedy half dollar with the D mint mark. While this coin originates from the United States Mint, it is highly sought after in various international markets, including collectors in the UK, due to its unique features and historical significance. We'll take a close look at what makes this coin valuable, even when it's in very poor condition, and what it is worth in today's market in US dollars. The Kennedy half dollar was first issued in 1964, shortly after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. It was introduced as a tribute to the fallen president and quickly became an iconic coin in American numismatics. The 1968 Kennedy half dollar is notable for a few reasons, especially the fact that it was one of the first years after the United States Mint stopped producing coins with silver content for general circulation. In 1968, the coin's composition was changed to a clad mixture with no silver in the main circulation coins, which affects both its collectability and value. Now, focusing on the D mint mark, this indicates that the coin was minted at the Denver Mint. Coins minted in Denver during this time were produced in large quantities, but certain specific characteristics, such as errors or condition, can influence their value substantially. When considering the value of a 1968 Kennedy half dollar with a D mint mark in very bad or poor condition, it's important to understand what collectors and dealers look for. Condition is usually one of the most important factors in determining a coin's value. Coins in mint or near mint condition fetch higher prices, while those heavily worn or damaged typically have lower values. However, even coins in very poor condition can carry some value, especially if they have unique features or are hard to find. In very bad condition, meaning the coin has significant wear, scratches, corrosion, or other damage, the 1968 Kennedy half dollar with a D mint mark is generally valued close to its face value or just slightly above. Since it does not contain silver and is relatively common compared to earlier Kennedy half dollars, its market value in this condition is limited. Most dealers will offer somewhere between 50 cents to around $2 for such a coin, depending on the specific condition and demand at the time. That said, there are always exceptions. Coins with rare errors, such as double dies or striking mistakes, can increase the value significantly, even if the coin itself is in poor condition. For typical examples, however, the value remains modest. To put it simply, if you have a 1968 Kennedy half dollar with a D mint mark in very poor condition, it is unlikely to be worth a large sum on today's market. It is primarily of interest to collectors who want to complete sets or to hobbyists looking for historical coins without regard for condition. If you are a collector or someone curious about coins, this piece still holds historical and sentimental value, but financially, it will not fetch a high price. In summary, the 1968 Kennedy half dollar with the D mint mark, when found in very bad condition, is valued between approximately 50 cents and $2 in the current market. For those interested in coins, it represents a fascinating part of U.S. coinage history and serves as an accessible entry point into collecting Kennedy half dollars. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more coin collecting content. See you, and next time, happy collecting!